we looked at the breakpoint, we found that it would be approximately about $1.50 per cigarette, which would be about $30 a pack. So roughly, certainly a higher price than there is in the market today before smokers would overall quit. But we did see smokers starting to quit even, during the course of our study. Approximately 7% of the smokers quit.
So in 1994, it was first proposed that nicotine should be reduced in cigarettes, and that was supported by the American Medical Association, the British Medical Association, the FDA in the States, and WHO.
This was a very low nicotine content study, and we wanted to find out from key stakeholders what they thought about very low nicotine cigarettes and whether they thought a policy of only selling these cigarettes would be acceptable to politicians and to other people in the community. I'd actually conducted a study like this in 2002 for my master's thesis. We found out actually nothing much has changed. Politicians are no more interested than they were years ago. Smokers certainly do not want their high nicotine content cigarettes removed from the market, but they are keen about having low nicotine cigarettes available, and certainly all our key stakeholders also thought that they should be available. So we think that actually with a differential taxation on high nicotine cigarettes and low nicotine cigarettes, and some education about why smokers should smoke low nicotine cigarettes, and also alternative nicotine products such as e-cigarettes available, this policy could actually have some effect.
So the number one motivation for doing this study, the HAR trial, was really around Māori smoking rates haven't changed over 10 years. We sit at 38, 39%, depending on which paper that you're reading. But 10 years, it's no change, really. Secondly, if we wanted to really drive down this 38, 39%, we needed to have a look back, and this is where the innovation comes. We need to have a look back at what already has been done. So we've had Whittle, which we've heard a little bit about. Kaupapa Māori methods absolutely work. Māori environments work. Noho marae works. Tikanga Māori, traditional rituals work. Using real Māori works.
So even after you stop smoke, this HPC will stay in the blood of the fetus for 8 hours.
My pilot project is about modeling for 3D modeling for fetus. The major investigation is based on some concepts that there's very, very high smoking rate among Maori women, and they even keep on smoking even when they are pregnant. So we think we can do something about it to do some education software. I think the current study that combines 3D model and the physiological simulations has not been done by anyone else previously from our best knowledge. So we have developed a framework that including the 3D engine and also some mathematical models that can simulate the flow from the transportation of the chemical from the mother's blood to the fetus. So we can visualize that in the 3D model and therefore to show to the users. The model is to show that how this the effects of smoking, for example, can cause the facial expression change of the fetus, the body movements, but more importantly, how these chemicals can transport from the mother to the fetus, therefore causing harm. So therefore can convince the mother to quit smoke.
Traditionally, nicotine replacement therapy in the form of patches and gum and lozenges provides a baseline level of nicotine. It can't address the cravings that smokers have.
So the aim of our team's work is to establish the feasibility of a needle-free injectable nicotine replacement therapy. We use a needle-free jet injector, and this works by using a small ampule, much like a syringe, but with a very tiny orifice at the end instead of the attachment site for a needle. We bring the drug within this ampule to a very high pressure, and it shoots out the end of this orifice at several hundred meters per second, so almost the speed of a bullet. Traditional nicotine replacement therapy is very slow acting. It's not able to respond to the cravings that smokers have. and so we need to use a technique that's going to get the nicotine into the bloodstream faster. Injection is one of the best ways to get nicotine into the bloodstream fast, but no smokers want to shoot up with needles every time they have a craving. So by using this needle-free technology, we can get the benefits of injectable nicotine without the drawbacks of the needles. So there are several ways this can go. One big application we've been looking at is a more community or clinic-based therapy where we can have a single injection device that's used by a number of smokers to help them quit, which helps distribute the cost of the device amongst all the potential users. We've also been investigating the use of devices like this on a more personal basis where a single person would have a single device, but these are all different options that we've been investigating.
Can we deliver cessation via radio to Pacific peoples?
I think that some of the key learnings from the whole Turanga program for Māori, for reducing Māori smoking, is that we need to give Māori something of value. So, not just take from them and expect them to do something that's not fun and not enjoyable, but make fun interventions, give back knowledge. For example, we had some wonderful projects that based themselves on Māori values. They gave back like how to weave, use of Māori language, a Māori experience. So something enjoyable and of value to Māori is really important. One of the things we need to do differently to reduce smoking among Māori is recognise that Māori are different and that interventions, tobacco control, everything we're doing in tobacco control impacts differentially on the different groups. The key areas of research that we need now is research that designs innovative pragmatic, which is what we've been doing. But we definitely need to look at how we can improve access to electronic cigarettes. There are other new nicotine products that are harm reduced that are available in the rest of the world that we haven't even begun to look at here. So the main paradigm shift is from a quit or die, do it this way or there's the door, to embracing a harm reduction approach. Now that we have effective, safe enough harm reduction tools to use. We haven't had that before, now we have it, now we need to start a harm reduction approach with people. And that's going to mean that we don't pathologise people so much, that we start to have more, we can engage with more compassion, because for a lot of people we haven't been able to help them. They couldn't quit the way we said they had to quit. So they were just basically left out in the cold. I think we can bring everybody back in. We need to have a lot more compassion towards them, and we can say we now have a wider range of things we can help, and we can offer you with. And actually, when it comes to e-cigarettes, the people who smoke are going off and finding theirs themselves. They just need reassurance and support. So that would be a huge paradigm shift if we could support people.
Well, my observations and learnings from the Turanga research program have been that it's given us a huge opportunity to test out some novel ideas that I think normally would not be able to be funded, supported, and we've been able to engage with people from all sorts of different research backgrounds and disciplines and sectors to bring to bear their perspectives on what is a complex societal problem, and thereby identify some solutions that we've been able to test. One of the measures of success is the number of ideas that have taken life in real-world programs. For example, the Weroi project has been funded by the Ministry of Health, and that's helping communities all over New Zealand to quit smoking, group competition quit smoking activity. Some of the research has informed policy decisions around, for example, the waiver of the introduction of higher duty on tobacco, and that came out of some work done through the University of Otago, which was supported through the Turanga. One of the ideas that was tested very early on was around the idea of a quota management system like we have for fisheries. Could you use that kind of system to contain the amount of nicotine that's available, or tobacco that's available in New Zealand? And the research undertaken at Lincoln University suggested that was a bit of a blind alley which we shouldn't bother to pursue any further. And since that research was published, I think the tobacco control community said, well, end of story, let's not even bother to put our energy into that, let's look for other opportunities. So I think in all those ways and others, building research capability, and expanding the range of people involved in tobacco control, it's been a huge success. Is the goal of Smoke-Free 2025 of 5% or less achievable? It's a great question which I pretty much think about every day, and it's a hugely ambitious goal, but I think we have got the talent, if you like. We've got some great ideas, we've got people who are hugely committed to achieving this end. We need the support of every New Zealander, we need local governments, we need the national, whoever's in government, to be able to make the right calls on the policy environment, the incentives and support for people, the 625,000 people who still smoke, to quit smoking. I think it is doable, but it's becoming more of a challenge as each year ticks over. Well, the Turanga will come to an end in a few months. People will be wrapping up their projects and writing papers and publications and presenting those and doing all that sort of stuff that you do in a university context. But what we want to do is identify new sources of resourcing to take the good ideas that have emerged and take them further. Some of them might need a more robust research study to expand the numbers of people, just to test that they're robust with a wider or a different population group, or refine the models a little bit. But others are pretty much ready for prime time. And I think the fact that some Ministry of Health people were here today showing a lot of interest in some of these ideas bodes well for some of them actually being tested out in the real world as programs. So we're looking forward to seeing that happen.